Hello, people of YouTube. My name is Steve Gray, and thank you for watching. Today we are going to be talking about Harley Quinn Season 3, Episode 5. Finally getting fully caught up here. That way I can do Episode 6 when it's released this coming Thursday. So we start off with this episode with Ivy trying to connect to Frank through something called In the Green. Basically, it's some sort of kind of psychic plant thing is the best way to describe it, where Ivy can connect to all other plants, basically, and locate a specific thing. And because Frank is a plant, obviously she can locate Frank. However, she's having some difficulties focusing. Harley might be part of the problem for that. She's doing what she did in the previous episode, kind of being super loud and obnoxious and annoying, and it's just being Harley is the best way to describe it. And it's kind of funny because you always kind of forget the fact that Harley is actually a doctor, a psychologist. Throughout this episode, she's actually planting seeds, metaphorically and figuratively, in order to get Ivy to kind of open up to herself about her true feelings for Frank. Because she's not, I don't say she's cold-hearted, but she's kind of distant and just like, yeah, no, it's fine. Like, she's being super calm about it. And it's just hard for her to find Frank. So Frank is getting tortured, some sort. There's a giant needle. We have no idea who's doing it. And what she plans to do is she plans to go find Swamp Thing. So Swamp Thing is apparently a very powerful DC villain. And what he is going to do is he also has the ability to use the green because he's basically a soul trapped in vines, is the way Ivy describes him. They're going to go track him down in order to find Frank, because, Ivy is having a hard time using the green. However, then we go to Batman and Catwoman here, or Bruce Wayne, and I believe it's Selina. They're having some relationship problems. Bruce is trying to, progress that relationship to move forward. And Catwoman is not having that whatsoever. So a lot of relationship drama. She actually says, hey, I'm going to go off and, I'm going to spend some time at my own house. Like, I need to get away from you. I need to clear my head. Just got to get out of here. Moving back to the Cobb Squad, if you remember that from last season. I am forgetting her name. Is it Noah? I think it's Noah, possibly. Already forgetting her name, but we'll go with Mrs. Freeze. Mrs. Freeze. She is basically having a giant bender. All the sex, all the drugs, all the alcohol. She is just looking to have a fun, grand old time. Oh, Nora. There we go. Figured out the name, Nora. Just having a fun, grand old time. Because obviously she was close to death. There was a lot of things she didn't get to do when she was alive. So she is just kind of having a free-for-all and going kind of crazy. Harley and Ivy are like, well, maybe we should cancel the plan so we can go find Frank. Oh, there you go, booty patrol. Literally this muscular dude walking around with a keg, helping her do keg stands and stuff. Harley's after some sort of food. I don't remember the exact food. She talked about it several times throughout the episode. Are we just not going to load images here? Let's see if I play it for a second. There we go. So then we have Catwoman coming back home and basically kicking out King Shark, saying, go figure out something to do. Get out of here. Then we have her watching some funny videos, relaxing, enjoying some wine. Bruce named these two cats after his dead parents, and she was like, yeah, you need to leave. I'm not taking those cats. You're smothering me. You're not giving me enough space. And the relationship is not going well. Now we are trying to figure, this is some other villain. You can do like projection things, like right here, with the kind of the cool rainbow skull going on. And they tracked him down in order to find Swamp Thing, and he's kind of refusing to tell them. But Nora kind of does her own thing. Everybody gets hammered. They end up on the floor. There you go. Nora is just out there because she's used to the party life. Obviously, Harley and Ivy and that other dude, they're not as used to the party life as Nora is right now. So they're feeling a little hungover, a little rough. But they ultimately get the map to Swamp Thing. Nora ends up getting kidnapped by Swamp Thing, or so we think. Harley's trying to be a psychologist, basically, throughout this. She's trying to, help Ivy open up to her emotions. Ivy is not really having it, unfortunately. But we do finally get introduced to Swamp Thing, providing the video wants to load. We're going to skip past. It's more Bruce Wayne stuff. It's fine. I'm skipping past that part for right now. There we go. And the best way to describe this version of Swamp Thing, I have no idea what he's actually like in the comics. The main reason him and Ivy kind of fell apart was because he is all about basically, all life is sacred type situation, where Ivy's like, wipe out humanity. So, that's kind of where they are different in those two aspects. But he's like kind of like a super cool hipster kind of guy is the best way to describe Swamp Thing. And of course, him and Nora end up doing their thing. He thinks they're dating. He actually ended up divorcing his wife. Ivy's hair is kind of crazy throughout this too, as you can see. Basically, she's trying to pressure Nora into saying, hey, why can't you ask Swamp Thing, now that you diddled his dingus, to basically tell us where Frank is. And Nora's like, well, it's kind of awkward, just having some issues right now. Moving back to Batman and Catwoman, we have a musical supervillain, and he has the ability to basically force people to talk their feelings. So Alfred basically hired him in order to get them to express their feelings towards one another, their true feelings. The gist of it, when they're singing, is Catwoman basically wants to be alone. She doesn't want to wake up to Bruce's smelly feet. She wants to be alone, and Bruce doesn't want to be alone. So, I think probably she wanted to be with him at a certain point. There was, definitely probably some feelings there. A lot of touchy feels in this episode. But at this point in time, she no longer really wants anything to do with him. So this is them getting that treat that Harley really wanted, all different types, powdered sugar, hazelnut, chocolate, hazelnut. And Nora, unfortunately, slips up that, no, she is not Swamp Thing's girlfriend. She's like, I don't want to be tied down right now, and this causes Swamp Thing to get extremely emotional. Basically, he kind of just controls all the nature around him, and yeah, it's essentially like a giant tornado situation going on. Can't seem to express her true feelings. And then what we have is Ivy actually finally breaking down and crying. And she's basically finally expressing her true feelings to Swamp Thing. This is the singing thing that I was speaking about earlier. We're going to skip past that as well for the time being. And what happens with Ivy and Swamp Thing is that basically Swamp Thing says, I listen to your problems. Like, I listen to all of your problems all the time. But the second I brought up, my divorce, the second I brought up anything, you immediately shut me down. Basically, you were like, oh, I'm distracted. I got to go somewhere. I got to do something. And it finally brought Ivy to the realization to kind of open up to him. So she was basically like, look, I love Frank. He's the only one that understands me besides Harley. I really need him back. I really, really need your help. And then basically Swamp Thing is like, thank you. Thank you for opening up to me. Basically thank you for being a decent friend for once in your life, because he has definitely had some issues with her in the past. And it actually worked for Nora as well. Basically, they were like, Nora, maybe it kind of worked in that situation where Nora's like, okay, maybe I should slow down. Maybe I shouldn't be, going and waving my stuff all over the place, whipping out the girls whenever I feel the need to. And Ivy then learns that she now has the ability to use the green, and it's one of those situations where she was holding her own self back. And she does actually end up using it. She locates Frank, and Frank is actually being trapped by Bruce Wayne. So this was definitely a better episode than last. Solid 7 out of 10. Solid 7 out of 10. Sorry about the loading issues throughout it. Slow internet connection or something. Who knows today? But, definitely interesting with the relationship development. Very good character development. So we're probably not going to be seeing Batman and Catwoman together. They might be fighting. Like it seemed like Catwoman really liked the fighting aspect of the relationship, but not the actual relationship part of the relationship. She kind of wanted more of a crime-fighting duo friendship type situation, as opposed to the actual relationship. And then we learn, we see Ivy being able to finally open up her emotions and fully express herself, as opposed to being closed off and kind of shut in on the world. She seems cool and collective, but, in reality, deep down, she's kind of breaking apart because she's lost her best friend, and she needs to go find him immediately, which I'm sure they will do next episode. But Bruce, being a superhero, he is trying to figure out what Ivy did to Frank in order to figure out some sort of reversal serum, and what Ivy plans to do. But I did enjoy this episode. It was definitely more of a deeper episode. I know not a whole lot of action going on in this aspect. A little bit of action, but definitely more of an Ivy, as I've been saying it for the past couple episodes. Very much of an Ivy season. About her getting in touch with her emotions more, and Harley kind of helping her along the way. So 7 out of 10, that's where we're going to leave it. Make sure to subscribe, comment, like, turn on that notification bell. Let me know what you want to see for future cartoon and anime related content. As of now, we are going to be doing Made in Abyss clips every Wednesday. Those seem to be doing fantastic. And Harley Quinn will be on Thursday going forward, now that I have finally caught up with all of the episodes. My name is Steve Gray. Thank you for watching, and as always, have a good one.